There is just something so special about a Christmas tree at this time of year. It's a symbol of joy, of love, of celebration, and having a tree that's perfectly decorated and just looks so perfect is probably one of my biggest goals every single year. And I know it can be really challenging, especially if you have an artificial tree, to make it look its best. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. I have 10 tips of how to get a fluffier artificial Christmas tree this year.
It all just goes away. The things I plan to say. Oh baby.
Hello my crafty friends, it's me, Lisa, the DIY Diva. Welcome back to a new video. Now, if you're like me and you have an artificial Christmas tree, it can be a little bit daunting when you open up the box. When you see these Christmas trees online, when you get ready to buy them, they are stunning. They are just so beautiful. You buy the tree, you get it home, and then you're kind of like, well, maybe it just needs a little fluffing. This is really true, especially for the less expensive trees. They really need a lot of fluffing. But like I said in the beginning, I have 10 tips that will help you take your artificial tree from drab and flat to fluffy and fabulous. Now, before you even get started with fluffing the tree, one of the most important things is figure out where you're going to have your Christmas tree this year. You'll want to have an area that's a little bit open so that you can maneuver around the tree when you're assembling it. And I can tell you, it's a lot easier to scope out a place of where you want the tree to go before you decide to assemble your tree. Now, this tip is probably going to sound a little bit silly, but when you're putting up your artificial Christmas tree, it's a really good idea to use gloves and wear long sleeves. Now, I know that might sound silly, but if you think about it, most artificial trees are made from PVC. So that's a plastic, and it's kind of a hard plastic, especially depending on what kind of a tree you have. So if you put gloves on and have a long sleeve shirt on while you are assembling your tree and getting it all fluffy and beautiful for the holidays, it will make it a lot easier to fluff the tree, and then your hands won't get all irritated from the PVC. Now, for the gloves that I'm wearing, they are actually writing gloves, and these are so comfortable. I wouldn't recommend getting these gloves just to fluff your Christmas tree. They're a little bit expensive, but they are by far my most favorite gloves, and I do wear them a lot. They're kind of an all-purpose glove, but mainly they are made for writing. But even if you don't have fancy gloves, you can use rubber gloves or a pair of work gloves that you have. It just makes the whole process easier. And the long sleeves will help to protect your arms from the PVC branches as well. Now, the third tip that I wanted to share with you is as you are unboxing your tree, make sure that you check the lights of each section if you have a lit tree. You want to do this before you get everything assembled. This way it makes it a little bit easier to possibly find one of the lights that could potentially be burnt out, and you won't have to search through the whole tree to find it. You can just go through one section at a time. All right, so here's where we get to the nitty-gritty. These are the fluffing tips. Now, when you get your tree out and you're ready to start fluffing it, you'll want to fluff it one section at a time. Kind of like what I said with the last tip, which was to check the lights one section at a time. You'll also want to fluff one section at a time. So first you're going to want to set up the tree stand and then get the bottom portion of the tree. And when you're fluffing it, what you want to do is you want to work one section at a time. For example, my tree has 1,446 tips on it. So that means I am going to be touching 1,446 tips on this tree. That's going to make it more fluffy. So by taking a little bit of extra time and just going one branch at a time and really fluffing it up and making sure each branch is lifted up so it's not compressed down, that's going to help to give you a fluffier tree. And on each section of your tree, you're going to have multiple levels. So you want to do the bottom level first, then the next level, then the next level. And if there's a next level after that, you'll want to do that too. But just one section at a time. Sometimes that can be a little hard, especially if the hinges of the tree branches just come down automatically. But just work your way around and make sure to touch every branch of your tree before moving on to the next part where you're going to be putting on the next section. also want to make sure that you fluff the inner branches. Those are the ones that are closest to the interior of the tree. Those I like to actually kind of stand up, so it's going to give a little bit more fullness deeper into the tree. Then as you work your way out on the branches when you get towards the front, that's my next tip. But you really want to make sure to fluff up the tips on the inner branches. You can move them in different directions to get a fuller look toward the inside of the tree. If it isn't that full on the inner portion of the tree, you can always add some pine garland or even some pine picks to get the tree to look fuller from the center. And yeah, I give a little bit of a sneak peek at the next tip, which is fluffing the ends of the branches. These parts right here, these are the ends of the branches. Some people say that when you're separating the branches or the tips on your tree branches, that you don't want to spread them all out and make it look like a starfish. Well, when I'm fluffing up my tree, I guess sometimes it does look like a starfish. I don't really think that there is a wrong or a right way of how to finish the ends of the tree or the tree branches. Whatever works for you and whatever look you're going for, as long as you're taking a little bit of time to fluff the branches of your tree, I think that's totally worth it, and you should be commended for that. Now, another thing that's helpful with artificial trees is a lot of the sections, they rotate. So if you have the bottom section and then you put on the middle section and it looks like the tree branches are all lined up, you can actually spin and rotate each section a little bit so that it's going to give kind of a staggered appearance to the branches. This will also help to make your tree look fuller. Now, this tip is if you have a really tall tree. The tree behind me is only 7.5 feet tall. I say only, but I've seen some Christmas trees that are like 12 feet tall. That is so tall. And I think that's how tall my ceilings are. So that would never work in my house. But if you do have a tall tree, it'll make it a lot easier if you pre-fluff the top section before you put it on the tree. It makes a lot more sense to fluff the tree when it's on your level, or I should say fluff the top of the tree when it's on your level. If you have multiple trees, you could even take a tree stand from another tree to make it even easier. My tree fluffing on the top portion, it was a little bit challenging, but this is a small section, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And then when you put the top portion of the tree on, it's already fuller and it'll look really nice. Now, my last tip for you is even if you have a pre-lit tree, consider adding extra lights. The tree behind me, I did add one extra set of 500 lights, and they're the twinkle lights. I don't have them twinkling right now because I didn't want it to do a strobe light effect on the camera. But as far as a Christmas tree is concerned, I think you can always add more lights. And I guess this is kind of a bonus tip, but if you add the lights to the inside of the tree, it will give it a nice glow. So I like to add the extra lights by tucking them deep into the tree. The lights that are already on the tree, well, they're mainly on the outer branches. So by tucking the extra lights in deep, this will give a really nice look. And I love the twinkle lights. It's such a nice addition to my tree, and they're just so pretty. I know they have some really fancy twinkle lights. I got these on Amazon. They were very affordable, and I think they just look so pretty. So one set of the lights is twinkling while the other set is just steady. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my tree. So this is the first year that I have had a flocked Christmas tree, and this tree is by Hykolity. And I actually got the Hykolity tree from Viva Trees. They are the ones who sponsored this video, and they are the ones who sent me this beautiful tree to decorate. I love this tree. It is so pretty. As you can see, it's very full. And like I said, this is the first year that I've ever had a flocked tree, and I do like it. The one thing that I've noticed from the flocking, though, is it is a little bit messy. So what I did was I put a white Christmas tree skirt around the base of the tree. So if any of the flocking does come off, then it won't really be that noticeable. But once I was done fluffing the Christmas tree, I did vacuum everything really well, and then I put the Christmas tree skirt around the tree. But back to this tree. So this tree is 7.5 feet tall. It also has some pine cones on it and warm white lights. It comes complete with the metal tree stand, and like I said before, it has 1,446 tips. So 1,446 branches or tips, and then I don't know how many branches there are, but it comes in 3 sections. It's very lightweight, easy to maneuver around, and it also does have 500 LED lights on it. So my Christmas tree now has like 1,000 lights. Some of them are twinkle lights, some of them are the steady lights. Now, the Hykolity tree, I've been really impressed with it, and it's very affordable. I know there are a lot of trees, and I know there are a lot of people that are promoting trees that they're getting from really fancy places, but I don't know about you, but I don't have the budget to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds or thousands of dollars on a Christmas tree. But that doesn't mean I don't want a tree to look nice. And I think the Hykolity tree does look really nice. And I think it is definitely an affordable option. I did a video earlier unboxing this tree and then also another tree that I got from Viva Trees. It's also a Hykolity tree. Very pretty, but it's a pencil tree, so it's the slim Christmas tree. And both of the trees, when I pulled them out of the boxes, they actually they were beautiful. Yes, they did need to be fluffed because they had been in boxes, but they fluffed up very nicely. And I actually went to Hobby Lobby just to do a comparison, just to see what the other Christmas trees were like. And honestly, these trees I think are a better quality, and they were more affordable than even if I were to get a Christmas tree locally, like at Hobby Lobby. So if you'd like to learn more about Viva Trees, all of the Christmas trees that they have to offer, and even the Hykolity tree, like this one, I will leave a link in the description box below. And right now they do have a coupon that is also in the description box. And if you use the code DIY Diva, you will get a special discount on your Christmas tree. They ship really fast. And like I said, been very impressed with this tree. Both of the trees, actually. Do you prefer a flocked Christmas tree? And flocked means it has snow on it, or fake snow. Or do you prefer the traditional green Christmas tree? Or actually any color? What's your favorite Christmas tree? And do you have any tips, anything that you do to help get a fuller Christmas tree? Let me know in the comment section. I'm really curious because I want to have a beautiful Christmas tree, but I don't want to spend a fortune on decorating my Christmas tree, my house, anything, which is why I do a lot of Dollar Tree DIYs. And if you're looking for more Christmas and holiday inspiration, you should subscribe to my channel. Click the subscribe button, and if you click the bell notification, you'll get an alert every time I have a new video coming out. I have a lot of different DIYs, especially for Christmas time. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button, be my crafting friend, be my crafting buddy. Crafting is fun, and decorating for Christmas is fun too. Thank you again to Viva Trees for sponsoring today's video and letting me have this beautiful Hykolity tree for my Christmas this year. And thank you so much to you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.